Welcome to Eureka Math. I'm Mr. Shankel. I'm going to help you today with Module 1, Lesson 19. Let's get started. Well, today we explored a lot of different ways to compare things the same that are different. So we could do a comparison and find out, for example, which person is moving fastest, what price is the cheapest, using unit prices and converting from one thing to another. So the example I'm going to help you with today is typical from our problem set today, our practice. Here is the example. Chiara, Giovanni, and Ebony are triplets and always argue over who can answer basic math facts the fastest. After completing a few different math minutes, Chiara, Giovanni, and Ebony recorded their data, which is shown below. Okay, so let's start with Chiara here. She has given us an equation, m equals 5t. And on this equation, m equals 5t, that is going to tell us that the m is the number of math facts completed and the t is the time in seconds. So if we use this equation, we could find out if Chiara did math facts for 1 second, we would know that we could plug in a 1, substitute a 1 for the t, and this would be 5 times 1, which is 5. So if Chiara worked for 1 second, she would complete 5 math problems, math facts. All right. Giovanni gave us a table, and it says that if Giovanni works for 5 seconds, he completes 20 math facts, and if he works for 10 seconds, he completes 40 math facts, and so on. We could use the table to help us find what his rate was. And then Ebony gives us a coordinate graph, and we could possibly use the coordinate graph to tell us how fast that Ebony works on math facts. And you can see that if she works for 2 seconds, we follow that up, and we'd see that she would complete 12 math facts in 2 seconds. So we have 12 math facts in 2 seconds, which is our t, our time. 12 math facts in 2 seconds. And then we also have, who is this over here? Giovanni, who does, well, we can choose a lot of them, 20 math facts in 5 seconds. That's our time. And then we saw up here with Chiara that she does 5 math facts in 1 second. Well, who's the fastest? The problem is we're comparing 1 second here and 5 seconds here and 2 seconds there, and we can't really tell. They're all working at for different amounts of time, so it's hard to say. Well, we could use all of those rates and find these ratios and find the rate for each one. And remember, rate is when the denominator is 1. So I could write an equivalent ratio here and say, well, if I divide by 5 here, 5 divided by 5 is 1 second. That's our time. And then if I divide on the bottom by 5, then I'd have to divide the numerator by 5. So 20 divided by 5 is 4. And now we can see that Giovanni can do 4 math facts in 1 second compared to Chiara, who does 5 math facts in 1 second. Chiara's a little faster. And we can do the same thing here with Ebony. I can change the 2 into a 1 by dividing by 2. 2 divided by 2 is 1. And then I'd have to also divide by 2 at the top. 12 divided by 2 is 6. So Giovanni does 6 math facts in 1 second. And now I can easily see that Giovanni is number 1, 6 math facts a second. Chiara is number 2 at 5 math facts per second. And then last is Giovanni, who does 4 math facts a second. Giovanni's third. So that's one way. I could just find everyone's rate. So that's an option. Another thing I could do was, let me get rid of all this stuff. Let me erase this off and we'll start again. I just found everyone's rate or value of the ratio, which told us how many math facts they could do in 1 second. And that allowed us to compare all 3 of them at the same time. So that's one way. I could also write an equation for all of them. And notice that we've already got an equation for Chiara. It's m equals 5t. Well, in order for me to write an equation for Giovanni, by the way, here is Chiara's equation, m equals 5t. If I was going to write an equation for Giovanni, then it would be, well, first I can't do it yet. I need the value of the ratio. The value of the ratio is the ratio written in fraction form and reduced. This one's not reduced yet, so I'm going to write the value over here so that we can see it. The value is, well, I can divide 5 by 5. That makes it a 1. And I can divide the 20 by 5. That makes that a 4. Okay, so the value is 1/4 if I'm talking about time compared to math facts. But I want math facts compared to time, just as I did with Chiara. So my equation for Giovanni is going to be math facts are equal to 4/1, or just 4, times the number of seconds. So Giovanni's equation is 4 times t is equal to the number of math facts. 4 times the number of seconds is equal to the number of math facts. All right, so I have an equation for Giovanni. And one more time, I just want to point this out. We always start with the second column with our equation, so m is equal to whatever we do to t to get to change that into m, and in this case I would have to multiply by 4 to make that happen. 5 times 4 is 20. So that's my coefficient there. It ends up being the constant or the value of the ratio. And remember that order matters. If I'm going to write my equation that starts with m and compares to t, then my constant here also has to be in that order, m to t. So I have to flip this value to be 4/1. So m, let me get back to there, m equals 4t is Giovanni's equation. Let's look at Ebony. I have a lot of points for Ebony, but I can see that if I have 2 seconds here, it will relate to 12 math facts. So I'm going to write the value as the math facts compared to the time, which is 12 math facts in 2 seconds. And then I remember that the value is the ratio written as a fraction and reduced. So this is equal to 6/1, which is just 6. So my equation is math facts are equal to 6 times the number of seconds. And that fits my information for Ebony. So now, let me get a new pen here. We have, there's one, we have a few equations here. Chiara is math facts are equal to 5 times the number of seconds. So Chiara does 5 every second. Giovanni is 4 times the number of seconds. He does 4 math facts every second. and Ebony is 6 every second, so she is the fastest. Ebony's number 1. 6 math facts every second. If you're not sure, plug in a number for t. It can be anything. Let's say that t equals 5. Well, then I would plug a 5 in for t, and Kiara, if she worked for 5 seconds, would do 6 times 5 math facts. 6 times 5 is 30. So when t equals 5, Ebony would complete 30 math facts. M equals 30. If t was 5 for Giovanni, then we'd plug a 5 in there, and 4 times 5 is 20, so the math facts would equal 20. Giovanni would not do as many as Ebony. And let's check Kiara. If we put a 5 into Kiara's equation, 5 times 5 is 25. So the math facts would be equal to 25. And we can still see that Ebony would complete 30 in 5 seconds. Kiara would be number 2 by completing 25 in 5 seconds, and Giovanni would be number 3 by completing 20 in 5 seconds. So equations can allow us to compare values, compare different ratios. Okay, so from the equation we get the value. We remember that the number attached to the variable is the value of the ratio. The number attached to the variable is the value of the ratio. So we're really just comparing values. How many math facts do they do in 1 second? If you can find that, you can compare them no matter what their rates are. Okay, a couple different ways to figure that out today. Hopefully that helps you, and we'll see you again next time.